we've been talking about doing this for a while, potentially with Unearth, potentially with Satoro. I end up feeling like Magda's just kind of better than Satoro in this show, where it makes the mana stronger, and it just like facilitates more board pressure, which is I think more important. Been liking Magda a lot in various mono red shells. Played some of that yesterday. We're also playing Forsaken Miner here as another crime committer. Also, while we're talking about committing a crime, I went through yesterday all of the cards that commit a crime, and I'm starting to kind of like the 3/3. I'm starting to like this one, Free Strider Lookout, because if you do a similar setup that we've been doing with the mono red Magda deck, where if we have like claws, we have Bauble, and you can go like play this, commit a crime on your turn, commit a crime on your opponent's turn, and just like turn this into a 3 mana 3/3 that puts like the 2 lands and play on the top 10. You could do some really sick stuff with that. So I don't know if you want to play that in a Cabal Coffer shell or something, but I was thinking I wanted to start brewing around that tonight. So that's kind of my homework for tonight, I guess. Um, but what's also cool about getting to play Forsaken Miner in this deck that works with the crime committing whatever is like makes your Spyro discards better, and it lets you play Supplier, and Supplier can mill over both Forsaken Miner or Bloodghast. You need like usually 8 things to mill over to play Supplier, by my estimations. Bauble is also a pretty mandatory card in a Magda Mayhem Devil deck. If you already want to play these 2 cards, you should play 4 Bauble. So we're playing 4 Bauble. Um, yeah, let's go. Pair with Amulet. Yeah, you could pair with Amulet. I was thinking maybe you could do Nykthos. Probably can't do Nykthos. With Mayhem Devil can go kind of crazy. Decided to not play it because I just wanted my life total to be a bit higher in this more prowess burn focused meta. So my opponent's gone turn 1, Bauble, Kodet Shregger, Saga. So we're up against Lantern Control. Ooh. That's some fucking value. So let me finish getting the Mox Field up to date. This clause committing 2 crimes while you have it over Relic. It can commit 2 crimes. It also sacrifices itself for Mayhem Devil, which Relic doesn't do. It exiles itself, and exiling your own graveyard can be awkward in this deck with some graveyard synergies. Just like yesterday. Okay. Your turn. About to start going crazy. Still needle the Bauble. It's not. It's like classic Lantern Control too. Don't really have Artifact Hate in my sideboard. Maybe I should have Artifact Hate in my sideboard. I was thinking that Bombardment Mayhem Devil was my plan against Affinity. Seemed okay. Not sure how good or bad this matchup will be. There's an Inquisition of Kozilek that we already knew about from the Lantern, which they're milling. So I was thinking I would wanted to play Spyro to get it out underneath the Inquisition. I'm drawing a Forsaken Miner, which I can also discard to Seasoned Pyromancer for value. And then the top card of my library is a Grieve. So I'm going to commit to casting the Seasoned Pyromancer, and I'm going to discard one of my 2 lands instead of discarding the second Bombardment because of discard spells and Prismatic Ending. Just give me a second to finish paying 2 life for this Blood Crypt. Okay. And then we have the Bombardment Forsaken Miner thing going on, which would be nice. There's probably some cards we could see that would make me want to evoke. My top card is another Forsaken Miner. So I can play this Bauble, and then I don't know if I care much about drawing this. I could get this back into play by committing the crime with the Bauble and bringing it back. Let's just attack for 2 for now, and then see what's going on. Okay, put it down to 17. Plays another Saga. Plays a Kodet Shredder. So since we can attack with it, we'll go and get back the Forsaken Miner. So they mill my Magda before I can draw it for turn. Pretty sure I will be just evoking Grief. Oh, sorry, I should play my Bombardment first because I could sack the Grief too. Thank you, Not a Doctor, for the 14 months. I'll be doing well. We're going to take a peek at our opponent's hand. I got trips. Oh, too bad they're not playing Balatro. So do I have lethal? I can sack this Bloodghast 3 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5. Well, not quite lethal. Because you can sack we can sack the Miner 2 more times, of course. That being said, my opponent's top card right now is just a Lantern of Insight, so let's, not go too crazy. No beats with the 46 months. But a bit odd. All of us longtime viewers seem to have similar resub dates. Yeah, it is odd. I mean, I think some of y'all just get synced up, you know what I mean? But it is cool for sure. So then they'll pop their Lantern here. Oh, no. Just gonna die. Okay, up a game. Probably just running back. Definitely did not have Lantern control in consideration with my sideboard today. But also, like, we can just resolve a bombardment. We get to ignore Ensnaring Bridge. Also, Mayhem Devil sometime. Without bombardment, Mayhem Devil's worse for sure, but gets to, like, sack treasures and baubles and fetch lands and stuff for some pings. Never mulliganing this. Oh, should mulligan this. Drawing not a land. So I guess I could Lantern control myself with my Supplier. Like if my top card's not a land, I can play Supplier. I'm so relaxed today because I just know my opponents are lagging and they're not. It just is what it is. I'm just at peace today. Is Prime Time still tier 1? I think so, yeah. Really? Just letting me have that, huh? So now we know to cast the Supplier because we know there's a Bloodghast on top. Another land. Does seem like my opponent probably is just planning to like needle my bombardment. As I scam the poor Lantern guy, they have Leyline in play. Just chilling today. Anybody play Hades 2? Played 2 hours on stream last night. Haven't played any more yet. May play some more on stream if the lag continues to be pretty bad. So they can make a 3/3. Their blocks are not super good. Oh, right. I can't target them with bombardment. Okay, we'll actually concede then. Yeah, Leyline plus bridge seems to be a lock. Could also test a standard deck. I just kind of refuse to let the stream be boring or any more boring than Magic content is already. You know what I mean? I refuse to be like, okay, let's copy the Pro Tour standard decks. Okay, now let's play the Pro Tour standard decks. Let's formulate some opinions. It's just so boring. I can't do it. I'm gonna Bauble turn 1 here. Well, the problem is if I like my card, then like am I just not casting the Supplier? 7 creature removal spells in sideboard might be a little overkill. Yeah, they're targeting different things. But sure, maybe. So did mill over a Miner here. take my Bloodghast. Takes the Mayhem Devil. A lot of times I like to hold the Bloodghast for Seasoned Pyromancer. There's a good chance that you just discard my Seasoned Pyromancer, so let's not do that. So they grab a Pyxis of Pandemonium, and they cast Codex Shredder. Well, I'm going to cast a Spyro, despite me kind of wishing I could evoke the Grief against a possible Ensnaring Bridge. What are you going to do? What I'm going to do is attack for 3. My opponent mills themselves, and they mill an Ashiok the Dream Render. And they play a bridge. I can still attack with everything for now. It's down to 10. It's the same amount of damage if we sack the Forsaken Mire twice. I guess I could have milled another Bloodghast though. If I went and sacked Bloodghast first. So I guess I maybe have missed damage depending on what the mill was, and we did not. So we're gonna get my opponent down to 8 life points here. And then in response to them saga-ing, I guess I should. No, I shouldn't use anything because I'm just trying to think like, can they get down to? Are they always gonna be able to get down to 2 cards in their hand? They probably will be able to, but not always. So they do have the Needle from Bombardment, or down to 1 card in their hand rather. They can. So winning this game gonna be tough. We'll need to Mayhem Devil my opponent out, and Mayhem Deviling, I guess, is just gonna be impossible with them lantering. Was it 1 more damage? You play Bombardment, sack Bloodghast, the land drop to get gas back. Well, I can't use this land drop to pay for the Forsaken Miner because you need black to pay for Forsaken Miner. So I can either Bloodghast again or I can Miner again. Gotta try though. I don't think we have to try. We're actually just completely locked out. Let's concede. Interesting. Island Relic. Build over a Forsaken Miner. This is Affinity. If only Meltdown were legal already. Sharing versions 4 Village Rites and the new one having L6 strong for digging through the deck. And what did your list look like? 'Cause I've spent like weeks working on this, and I just really felt strongly that there wasn't room for these cards. Like if you're telling me that you're cutting like Supplier for Village Rites, that doesn't make any sense to me because like these 2 cards just play so well together. I've played a lot of Village Rites in this deck too, and it was, a hard card to cut for sure. So you can play the Mayhem Devil, which gets triggered when the Saga gets sacked, which can trigger the Magda, which is something. Like to me, like this list just seems so tight and stuck for me to want to play Magda here. So we're like the idea of just playing 8 Village Rites in here sounds like ridiculous. Like I have no idea how how you're supposed to do that here. I'm guessing no Magda, no Spyro. I guess, but also like Magda's like the card I want to be testing here, and but yeah, we've played a lot of regular red black sack, and yes, I do like Village Rites. So I will grief them after Mayhem Deviling, which will net me a treasure, which I can sack to trigger Mayhem Devil. Won't be able to get back the miner without the extra black mana this turn. Can maybe get it back next turn. So it's a crime to grief your opponent. Remember, the treasure makes interest tap, so we can't like sack this to get it back. I think I take this, so they can't double spell me as effectively. Second synthesizer is good here for sure. Can't stack the triggers there, right? Yeah, this interest tap, so you cannot. Like I just said that you can't stack this interest tap, so you can't use the treasure for the miner. I have a Shadow Spear. Typically pretty good against this kind of archetype. Wait, so the Shadow Spear is already gotten. They grab a boots. Okay, so trigger. Their hand is another synthesizer and a mystery card. They play an Ornithopter, which would allow them to suit up the construct, but I wouldn't expect them to necessarily attack. Okay, super happy they're attacking probably. This could give me the best chance to win the game here. If I can draw a crime, if a bombardment would be good, but like just a Bishop's Bauble or Grief could be pretty key. I guess now I'm just obviously doing this. Discard Bloodghast, draw 2. There's the Bauble. So now we get to target our opponent and trigger the Mayhem Devil. And then I could of course get back the Forsaken Miner, but I think I should just be sacking the treasures to make a Scorpion Dragon. Like this is so to put them to 10, and then I'm attacking for 11. Yeah, the Scorpion Dragon is so cool. Well, good Mishra's Bauble. Opponent probably wins the game if they put it here. Oh, this was 10? I thought it was 11. Yes, it is. Thought I wasn't off by 2. Yeah, my plan in this matchup was to just bombardment Mayhem Devil them, which seemed like it was working there. I don't think Fatal Push is a very good card against them, so let's bring it in. I was thinking like the pushes are like mostly for Yawgmoth and like Hammer and Scales, and then the Edicts are for like the Leyline Scion decks. Obviously rebuild the sideboard. Probably have too much graveyard hate, but like I'm pretty scared of Gorios with this deck. I think we keep this on 7. I'm gonna bubble myself as a scry. Seeing Bloodghast, we'll just go ahead and mill that over with the Supplier. Then we could grief. I kind of want to maybe grief until like wait till the turn that they could play Synthesizer. Boots with the Spurs, and they equip, so I can't kill it with the Bombardment this turn, notably. So I'm gonna take 1, and then bring back the Bloodghast. Play Bombardment, and then I'm going to evoke Grief. Pitching Grief. They do have the Synthesizer, so nice of us to be able to take that. Sack the Grief, attack for 1. And then we can, Forsaken Miner Machine Gun potentially. May get needled again. How big is the construct? It's a 4/4, which I guess I can kill. Let's go ahead and just attack first after drawing this. gonna wait for them to commit to make another construct before I kill this one, I think. So I'm pretty happy if they just don't. And I also get a 5th damage for this construct off the saga, so if they just tap and pass, I guess they could get needle. Does seem like the plan of just bombardment Mayhem Devil. Seems like it, has at least a lot of game against them. Pretty surprised that I don't know if they have like another synthesizer for them to want to do this, because we know their hand is Frogmite, Otawara, 2 mystery cards. They get Shadow Spear, which is I'm happy with. So they must have drawn another synthesizer. I maybe a Thought Monitor could make them play like this, but they tapped a tapped Mistveil Bridge. Okay, so my opponent says no to construct, no to like 7/7 construct. Instead, I will equip my Shadow Spear to Ornithopter. Thank you very much. So can I kill my opponent here? That doesn't exactly help. So bring back the Bloodghast. Sack the Bloodghast. 2 damage. So I want to attack with the Bloodghast here. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can just present lethal, but it's pretty close. So go 2, 2, 2. So 6 damage. 6 plus 10. Yeah, I guess I can put my opponent down to 2. So let's just go ahead and be able to attack with the Bloodghast, because I would be content with a trade of Frogmite for the Bloodghast here. Wish I could attack with the Mayhem Devil. I could if I spent my mana killing the Frogmite, I guess. If we ain't killing, wipe the board. I mean, I'm just like, the board just doesn't matter. Let's kill him next turn. It's also hard to wipe the board, right? Because this is 3 toughness on the 1/3, and this is ward 1. Are they dead if you don't trade and attack with both? I don't think so, because they just block the Mayhem Devil. They're not dead. They're dead to sacking Mayhem Devil? I don't think so. If they block the Mayhem Devil, they aren't, right? Because then what happens if they block the Mayhem Devil? I can let the Bloodghast deal 2 and then sack it later, but it just doesn't put me in a winning position. And right now I can deal 2, 2, 2, put them down to 4, because I let this trade happen. I could put them down to 2 if I didn't let this trade happen. They were dead to attacking both. 6 from Miner, 2 from Gas, 2 more sex for 10. No, they're gonna block the Mayhem Devil, because you can't deal combat damage with Bloodghast and also deal the 2 sack damage for Bloodghast. I didn't think they had enough mana for this. I think they're still dead. No need to attack. If we attack, we don't have lethal. Y'all are. I feel confident, but I've certainly missed lethal on the channel before. You didn't need to sack Ghast. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Don't have to use combat damage, just attack. But I was counting for that. Okay, they're at 10. They were at 10. Or attack. So they block the Mayhem Devil. You let the Bloodghast deal damage. You deal them 6 damage. You deal them 6 damage with the Forsaken Miner plus Goblin Bombardment. Then you sack the Mayhem Devil to deal them 2. Done. Yeah, looks like I have in fact missed lethal yet again. Were they at 10? No, they weren't at 10. They were at 10 before the damage here. No, they weren't at 10. I'm so confused. Whatever, I'm just... Were they at 10? What if opponent doesn't block? They're gonna block the Mayhem Devil. They're at 10 before I attacked. Did I have? Oh, but they were at 10. I'd already used one Forsaken Miner. No, I'd already used Forsaken Miner once. I'd already used Forsaken Miner once. Which means that I think I could put them to 1, right? Yeah, 2 lands on tap. So 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1. That's 9 damage. It's not lethal. So I can only attack with one of my other 2 creatures here. But yeah, this is lethal. You 2 black mana up, that's 6 damage. 2 black mana is 4 damage, right? I guess it's 6 if you already have the miner in play, but I don't think I was counting that. Mayhem will trigger itself. I know Mayhem Devil will trigger itself. It's 6, you don't bring it back at the 3rd stack, it starts in play. Okay, but I'm of the impression I had 2 sacks of Forsaken Miner available, not 3. If I had 3, if I had 3, I just had lethal without attacking, so I'm pretty sure that was not the case. I had lethal without attacking if I just had 3, that amount of sacks. Chat was right. I almost want to watch a clip. I feel like I'm being gaslit so hard here. It was actually just lethal in play. Yeah, I mean, I believe it was so many people seeing. I just need to, I'm going crazy. I want to see it. So I have Miner in play. My opponent is at 15 life here. They're at 15 life here. I can sack, this is 4 damage from the Bloodghasts, 1 damage from the Marsh Flats to put them to 10. And then I can sack, oh yeah, this is just lethal, huh? Okay, I missed it. So 15 from the Bloodghast to the Marsh Flats. Sack. Yeah, I just didn't count the sacking it the first time. Okay, did miss lethal. Yeah, mine are looking nice though. Hedge Mage, graveyarding a Tide Shaper. Then they subtlety me. Gotta put this on top. I guess probably should have actually just take a Lord of Atlantis. Since the Hexcatcher is pretty bad to my Mayhem Devil. Just 2 of these. Doesn't really matter which ones. Oh, Merfolk players. So typically I want to bring in Fatal Push against decks that Fatal Push is good against. I want to bring in Sudden Edict against decks Sudden Edict is good again. I don't think I want to bring in both here. I think I will be cutting the suppliers for the Fatal Pushes and clicking the submit button. Yeah. Shameful 1 land keep. I mean, they had the Surveil lands, but it's like did not seem like a mathematical keep. Why Scrabbling Claws? Well, you don't want to exile your own graveyard. You want to have some graveyard hate because I'm scared of Gorios, I think. Despite Gorios not being that popular, I'm pretty scared of it. And then it also sacks itself for Mayhem Devil, can commit 2 crimes. We're main decking Claws yesterday. Yeah, Spyro is really, really nice in this archetype. But Murktide opponent, this hand has 1 land. I'm going to mulligan. Even though I have Bauble, I'm going to mulligan. The opponent in this hand has 1 land. I'm going to keep. Because it has 3 baubles. And also Surveil land. Okay, turn 1 Vial. Very nice. Congratulations. Let's take a little peek-see poo here. All right, so I'll just go ahead and keep this Magda on the top of my library. In the next turn, we can make 2 treasures with Magda Bauble on my turn and then Bauble on their turn. When you play Magda on turn 2 and she makes 2 treasures, it's like really, really sick. And so I'm like, I kind of want to play. I want to try playing this card with the same idea of like Bauble, Claw / Relic, to trigger this a bunch of times. But I don't know if I can play Magda also. But it feels like if you're playing these cards, Magda is also good. I don't know. Trying to figure it out. Yeah, we played 1 league with the Abzan deck, and this is our first league of this one. Yeah, and I don't know if you want to like try to Urborg Cabal coffers with Free Strider Lookout, or if you want to like, you could do some amulet stuff too, maybe. But you need to figure out a way to like make these triggers really nice. Deserts with the green 3-drop. Yeah, maybe. Dryad Valakut. Yeah, you could Dryad Valakut. You could play like Coco. Be awesome if you could break out into this card, but you can't. But you could play like Coco and then like play Dryad and Valakut and Magda and the stuff, and then a bunch of crime enablers. With maybe if, with all the crime enablers you don't have enough for Coco. They got a Dismember over there. So playing Seasoned Pyromancer is really good. I think it's enough better than just Fatal Push Tideshaper and then make a dragon. I can just hold up Not Dead After All on the Magda. I just get this like discard 2 of these things for value, which is just so nice. And now I've drawn the Goblin Bombardment, which is also really, really nice. I probably don't want to use it right now though, so I can save it for a Hex Catcher. Seems like a safe enough attack. So now I Fatal Push the Trickster, make another treasure. We could bring back the Miner this turn, but I want to hold up the Not Dead After All because I know my opponent is going to draw Dismember. Yeah, I think all of the crime cards only trigger once a turn, which is probably for the best. Card Undying Evil. What does that card do? You're gonna play Not Dead After All instead. The pings are really, really nice. Obviously, entering untapped is kind of relevant too. We lost to Lantern Control. Needle on Bombardment plus Lantern plus Bridge. Seemed like a good formula against us. So they're not going to Dismember me, which is good. I'd like to not be dismembered if possible. Somewhat likely to have a Tidebinder, right? So let's go Mayhem Devil into Sack Treasure. Ping. Make a treasure. Yeah, Magda Mayhem Devil are just like so good. This could be certainly something you could do in Pioneer. Notably, they didn't Tidebinder my Mayhem Devil, which I kind of expected them to. I'm sure someone's done this in Pioneer, right? Okay, so they're Tidebinding now. So let's play a Bombardment, and then I can go sack, 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 unlock Mayhem Devil. I think instead I'll just go ahead and I guess this isn't once a turn because you just keep doing it. I'm at 8. Let's chill. Oh yeah, probably not great in the Vein Ripper format. It's the same number of sacks if I kill the Lord first. Yeah, I'm just not gonna kill the Lord on my turn. Yeah, dude, Vran Executioner that one should not have been. Oh, so this is each opponent loses 2, drains for 2. I was thinking of the one that puts a counter. Is that one only once a turn? Okay, so after we lost the Lantern, we bounced back to 2-0. Also maybe try to play like a Cabal Coffer Shell. Can maybe just play like maybe play with a bunch of fields, right? It's kind of cool. Like, okay, if you play this in like a Sunken Citadel field deck, you get to trigger this off of a field and just put another field into play, albeit tapped. But that could be kind of sick. Kind of same thing with Ghost Quarter too, dude. I have not registered a Ghost Quarter in a long time. Okay, tough mold to 5 on the draw against Giganta deck. Save the Bauble for this turn. Could draw Magda. Build over a Bloodghast. Sure, the deck could play a single Amulet as a Saga target. If you play Saga, yeah. If you play Saga and Sunken Citadel and all these fields, you would need to be mono green. And I think I would kind of like to play Magda and this card if possible. And be Gruul. But yeah, you could try to play an Amulet or something. Okay, so we'll mill over the Miner. Probably a Miner. So probably Gruul Prowess also. Prowess is so popular today. Then for life total sake, we'll just play this tapped. My opponent's gonna be seeking the beast here. 3-mana creatures are hard to make work without huge board impact. Board impact I think is less true than like just like ETB effect, you know. Give me an example of a 3-mana creature that has a big board impact. Maybe Seasoned Pyromancer. It's not like a 2/2 and 2 1/1s are crazy. It's not really why you play the card. Mayhem Devil. I don't know. I don't know. I like the thing is with Lookout, you can definitely build your deck in a way that you're gonna play it, and then for 0 mana commit a crime to where like it almost just has this as an ETB that can trigger also on your opponent's turn. Fable, yeah, Fable. You're also not playing it because it has a big board impact. You're playing because it's like has effectively a really nice ETB or like a delayed ETB in the case of Fable, I guess. Okay, so they seek the beast and hit Manamorphose and Holy Heat. Heat not looking too good here. Yeah, okay, Charlotte's Agent, I guess, is a good one. Good example. Reflector Mage Spellcaller. I mean, those cards are not very good anymore. I think you need ETBs. You need value, you know. Panda, 10 months. And this is also a 3/3 reach. It's not like this card is tiny. Just thinking about supplying versus like Supplier this turn versus just jam the Spyro. Just gonna jam the Spyro. Is it actually go with Magda as Gruul Crime Ramp? So I think that this card can be really powerful. Free Strider Lookout, and I think that Magda has we've kind of proven that this card is powerful and doing some nice things in Modern. But as far as like a deck, so like it's kind of weird because like they both get enabled off the same thing. So like you're pretty. Oh, they're playing. Yes, fuck yes, dude. We've encountered Gruul Storm in the wild. We're gonna lose so hard, but we're notably for all the Gruul Storm haters, be in much worse shape if they were just normal prowess right now. But yeah, we could play Collected Company. What sounds nice to me, what is probably the best. So like if you want to overlap Magda and this card in the best way possible, I think you want to play Sunken Citadel and Field of Ruins. You could probably do that and be a Gruul deck. Okay, we are super, super dead. Nice. So I'm going to bring in the Fatal Pushes, and I'm going to bring in the Damping Spheres. I'm going to cut the Stitcher Suppliers, and maybe trim like 4th Mayhem Devil, 2 Forsaken Miners, and Magda 4. So I think so. Like one thing is, it's like Lookout could work well with Dryad Valakut. It could work well with Urborg Cabal Coffers. But I think if you want to combine both, Magda's been really good with the Sunken Citadel field plan, so we could play both together. And I think you could also play Urza Saga in this deck, but the Gruul mana for this plus Urza Saga could be kind of weird because you have like, that's if you play 8 fields, you don't need to play 8 fields, but that's like 4 field, 4 Citadel, 4 Saga, 8 fields at 16, and then you need to play like 6 basics, that's 22, and then having green and red mana consistently seems like it could be hard. Coco seems weird since you probably need non-creature enablers like Bauble and Claws. Yeah, I agree. You don't have to play Coco. But that would be like in the Dryad Valakut shell. But it could also be good to play like a mono green build of this and like Forsake Magda, but also these cards only, maybe it's not that hard to splash. You can name green or red with Sunken Citadel. Written 6 does commit crimes. Written 6 is pretty bad with all those colorless lands, but you could potentially just say no Urza Saga, which is I guess kind of where I'm leaning at the moment. Opponent definitely a fan. I think I'm actually gonna just lead on tapped Blood Crypt turn 1. Let's see what we draw next turn. Deck for Poco, we're Monger with the 11. Thank you all so much. So I think what we should do here is add a deck. Let's add a deck to the deck tech. Step 1. Yeah, you could play less than 8 field. I'm just saying like there's some color tensions. You could play less than 8. Don't think I would have brought in Tormod's Crypt as them against me. Okay, so I'm going to save the Bauble to go with my Mayhem Devil next turn. Yeah, Ghost Quarter also seems like possibly a card you could play. Just kind of. Oh, what is the card? Look, that's all I ever say on the channel. But the three mana artifact, Undergrowth Recon. Oh, I have to log into Aspiring Spike, but I had a build with that deck. I guess on the play against the Grief Scam deck, it can't be that bad. I had like a draft with that card that I wanted to figure out, and I hadn't figured out. So I hit Chandler Harvest. Also, the lag seems to be not as bad right now. These 2 leagues have gone pretty fast. I was gonna do some brewing tonight. Maybe we can do some brewing on stream. But yeah, but I had a list with like Undergrowth Recon, Field, Citadel, Saga, whatever, and I just never like connect the dots on it. Have I tried Deadly Dispute? Deadly Dispute I think is worse than Village Rites in this deck, where you can evoke Grief turn 1, sack it to Village Rites. I understand it makes a treasure for Magda. It's just like the 2 mana is really tough. But yes, I have played Village Rites in this kind of deck before. They reveal an Underworld Breach here. Okay, so we'll crack the Bauble, ping them for 1. Deck for Poco. Oh, cool. You are working on it. Love that. So, 4 field, 4 Ghost Quarter. I imagine I would still mostly want to play Demolition Field instead, but you maybe do something like 4 field, 2 Demolition Field, 1 Ghost Quarter, so something along these lines would be my initial guess. So let's just go Bombardment, and I think I'm just going to push this main phase before they get their yard too big. That Underworld Breach. Questing Druid is interesting. I like trying to play Wrenn and 6. I kind of have a vision of this being like a 25, 26 land deck, although maybe with Wrenn and 6 that isn't the case. I'm not sure that the halflings are correct. They could be correct. Yeah, I feel like I would. Yeah, the halflings seem kind of weird. I feel like we could maybe just play Fable in that spot and be reasonably happy. Yeah, but I think like you can't really play Ghost Quarter without ways to like loop it. Like that's what's nice is like you have like Undergrowth Recon or you have like ramming up Excavator to like, do this thing every turn and maybe multiple times a turn with, that's kind of the only spot where I feel like they're good. So they hit a Destructive Revelry for my Bombardment, which stings. I also can't go like Mayhem Devil sack, not that after all, because of the Tormod's Crypt. Seismic Assault. Assault is interesting. Doesn't exactly do what you want. As far as like you need to surveil land also, over at least one of the stomping grounds. It's an interesting first draft. I feel like I really want to play Sunken Citadel too, but I definitely have Sunken Citadel brains. I'm not sure this is a good questing druid deck. I guess the curve is pretty low. So I'm not that far away from killing the druid, but I think I am still too far away, if that makes sense. Recon seems pretty bad because there's tap. Excavator could be interesting. Yeah, I agree. But so what the big difference between Undergrowth Recon and Crucible of Worlds though is it does not consume your land drop. Undergrowth Recon is like a slow Crucible of Worlds that allows you to ramp instead of just consuming your land drop every turn, which is what to like about it. But you also can't do anything the turn it comes down, and there's a lot of problems. Okay, probably gonna go to game, or probably dead actually. Question druids are usually other manos, the idea refill. Yeah, I get it. I get the idea. With a low curve, and druid's also just a great card. Seems okay. Yeah, playing Channeler could be good. A few cards install the 1-mana Pixie, return something hand as a rogue deck with it, and Thieves' Guild Enforcement worth pursuing. I would really doubt it. The only reason we're playing that card is because we just happened to work in like the weird broken Collector's Cage deck. Not doing anything like that with those cards. Okay, I'm gonna concede here. Love the green red storm deck. Glad to lose to it. So Breeding Pool tapped. Pretty good draw. $6 and a lollipop. You're lowballing me. But kind of simply when it comes to Free Strider Lookout, like putting a land into play or an untapped land into play, or sorry, a tap land into play is a lot better than putting a tapped treasure into play. We're playing against Reclamation. I have no idea. And obviously this card is 1 more mana, but the power level is there. Then you also have like redundancy to like building around Magda, which is kind of cool. And both Magda and this card seem to work well with the Field of Ruin game plan. Is what has me somewhat interested. I think we want to try to find a black card. There we go. So let's start off attack for 2, and I'm just going to play Magda, then evoke Grief, I think. Are we against Rhinos? I don't know. Maybe the very odd draw could be Rhinos. Tulu is playing Sweet Black Green deck instead with Lookout Spelunking. I'll take a look. Take a look. Playing against Niv, I guess. The Cosmic Rebirth. Yeah, it would be really cool if this was an elf or elemental and you could grab it off Nissa. Yeah, there may be Niv Rhinos. That's actually a pretty good guess. think it was untapped because I could maybe use this with the Mayhem Devil if I draw untapped land. Marchesa, huh? Now that is the legal card, I suppose. Gonna set up for a big turn next turn. I think I'm gonna get swamped for my little baby life total. Do this on my turn, and then I will also just Forsaken Miner on their turn too. Worthwhile landfall triggers for free start. And this is probably the best one. I cannot believe they have this. So if I miner right now, they're going to Kaya's Guile to make me sack my Magda and then exile my graveyard. So I guess let's not run right into that, huh? So I think I'm going to go cast Mayhem Devil. My opponent will respond by Leyline Binding my Bombardment, probably. And then I get to just sack both Bombardments and then play a ping with Mayhem Devil twice, potentially. Okay, no, they're just passing. So I'm going to attack for 4. My opponent is pretty dead. To play around the Kaya's Guile the best, I think it makes sense to just sack a treasure, make another treasure with Magda, cast the miner, then pass. Bombardment brings back miner and sack to it. If you have a black mana to spend, yeah. Opponent is super dead. I have 9 damage here. Oh, more than that because I can bring back miner. Yeah, I don't know how they ended up having Marchesa in their deck, but we're not the only one committing crimes, I guess. So this is 5 damage. You going to Dallas? Yeah, I decided to get there 30 years ahead of time. Just to be safe. Suspends of Footfalls. Yeah, I think I like just going Magda Grieve, make a treasure next turn. Maybe they'll fire ice me. That'll be okay. Paired Magda Steel Seeker? No. So do I still evoke the grief? I think no, probably. Rhinos would be kind of bad, but yeah, no, Rhinos are just win the game here, so nice. These are still coming down. Opponent playing a Blood Moon is so cool. Ambitious for sure. See how it works out for them. Yeah, they boarded out all the weird cards. First draft on Dryad free striker deck, so. No, I can't play Stomper. Provisioner also looking incredibly sus. "24 hits for Collected Company, and 4 of them are Grazers. Incredibly sus also. Yeah, I don't really care much about holding up the not dead after all when we know they have endurance, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. You also have the wrong Magda. That one matters less. You also just don't have enough. Okay, you also don't have the. At the moment, it just doesn't look like this build is going to work, like this direction. But you also need to play four like relic type effects, and four baubles is like where I want to start with Magda. Free Strider Lookout. So I'm pretty sure I just kind of go into the deck we played yesterday, which I liked, and then cut the rings for Lookout, lower the curve, and then figure out the green splash. So we milled over a Forsaken Miner. Not sure about Hades today. Well, I think what I want to do is finish this match, and then work on the that deck, and then if it looks really good, then we'll fucking play it on stream. But I don't think that that's gonna be the case, and so probably we'll end up not doing that. They have endurance, so I can't not dead after all my Spyro here, which stinks. So probably gonna lose. Clock, go to like in the stream. Thank you for the 5 months. Definitely a tough build around. I mean, at the moment, I feel like it fits really nicely into this deck. And we may want to play Rin and Six somehow. And if we just need to figure out if the how we need to like do the math on the splash, but feeling okay about it. I guess I'm actually just gonna Seasoned Pyromancer token. Soy Milk, Switch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Yeah, we heard about the Pitiless Plunderer combo here. Seems certainly not modern power level. Does Magda work well with Grinding Station? I mean, it makes one token a turn potentially with Grinding Station. Not exactly the best. Felder, 15 months, thank you. Weird game. I guess the Red and Sixes are going to be kind of sus because we won't be able to play fetch lands. Kolagon's Command Pack, Shardless Agent. The hubris, the greed. Returning to Urza Saga is interesting for sure, but it's also just more lands that don't fix our mana. But it also gives more hits, better hits off the. Just look at on some sort of Scape Shift Shell. Yeah, it seems kind of tough. You could definitely do that. I'm gonna maybe try to hardcast the grief on turn 3 here. Charlos into persist, get back subtlety, put Charlos on top. Now that's a juicy play. Overgrown Tomb into Suspend Rhino's Leyline Binding would be tough. Ooh, we could play Bristly Bill with the landfall. Oh boy. Oh, I forgot to look at the standard. Can someone relink that standard deck that was linked that I wanted to look at until we forgot? Guess I'm taking the binding and losing the game. My hand was crazy. What do you think about Path to Exile nowadays? Looking to make a control deck and got no money to splash any other colors for Leyline Bonded and Prismatic Ending. Path to Exile is completely unplayable. I recommend if you're looking for a budget replacement in your control deck to play Oust. Oust is better than Prismatic Ending, or sorry, sometimes better than Prismatic Ending. That can get silent on turn 2. I would play Oust. But but not that I really think that either are better than Pending or Leyline at the moment. 2 turns. But Dispatch? We played Dispatch recently. Dispatch is good if you have 3 artifacts in play. A little bit worse otherwise. Hit a Force of Negation. Marchesha. Okay. Discarded. If you could commit a crime without having to pay the 1, it'd be a lot better. Yeah, that list is super juicy. Bristly Bill can commit crimes. Yeah. So there's some tension here because it's like Bristly Bill, once you like, we might not be playing fetch lands. This could maybe be like in the mono green build, or like we could try to transition to a more green focused build that plays like fetch lands and then splashes. Don't really know what my plan is. I think it probably involves chump, sack, make a treasure, get them down to 8, and then somehow, some way, committing 2 more crimes to throw a dragon at them for lethal after taking a big hit. Also, this would let me Spyro if we draw. We could also draw. The best draw is probably the Miner. We can go Miner, crime, untap, win. So the problem with this as my crime committer is I lose my treasure. Why is there Supreme Verdict in their deck? And their freaking Shredless Agent, Bloodbraid Elf, Rhino's deck. I think Mayhem Devil puts me exactly 1 point short. Don't think we have any outs. Also just lethal attack, right? Oh, no good to 1. Maybe they'll cast the Supreme Verdict. Oh, I guess we did not go to 1. Miscounted. 2-2 bracket moment indeed. Okay. Moving on. Territorial Kavu can commit crimes. Just run the domain package.